Our students often worry that you have to have this perfect trajectory and know exactly what you're doing from day one. You're not lost if you take a few turns every now and then, and that happened to me a lot. I majored in psychology as an undergrad. From what I recall, it was not a very well-educated decision. It was sort of I like to help people, psychology sounds good. And I sort of went with that. From there, I went to Florida State for my master's and my PhD in clinical psychology. I was able to have a community and have conversations and really think through what I wanted to do and why what we were doing was important. Every year in graduate school, I was doing some sort of clinical work. And because I'm bilingual, I was recruited to go to placements where there was a need for a bilingual therapist. I was just always having a really hard time trying to find self-report measures that I could use with folks who primarily spoke Spanish. And I always found myself creating these things on my own so that I would have some sort of tools to use, which is really not the most appropriate thing to do, but I was really doing the best with what I had at the time. It was really that got me interested in exactly what I'm doing today, which is finding ways to develop measures, develop interventions that are tailored to particular populations, whether it's culturally or linguistically, so that there are evidence-based resources for these folks. I went to MD Anderson and I did a 2-year postdoctoral fellowship there, and really, honestly, ended up falling in love with tobacco research among Latinos because I was finding the questions and the conundrums really interesting. Latinos have a lower smoking prevalence rate, so fewer smoke than for the general population. And they tend to smoke fewer cigarettes per day on the days they smoke and actually tend to be non-daily smokers, a good proportion of them. A lot of the data was indicating that Latinos actually have just as hard a time quitting, if not harder, despite the fact that they smoke less. That was fascinating to me because, of course, the next question is, well, why? That led me to my program of research where I'm trying to understand what are those factors that maybe are unique to Latinos or are particularly important to Latinos in terms of helping them quit and also maintaining their smoking so that we can intervene on those things. Social work is a social science, it's a scientific discipline. You can use the scientific method to really solve all kinds of problems and to advocate and to really instigate social change, policy change. I really think about not just doing science, but being a scientist and that being part of your identity. Okay, so quick overview. We have 3 courses that collectively we call the individual instruction courses. So when you hear me say that, this is what I'm talking about. And they're the research practicum, the conference course, and the writing practicum. As Associate Dean of Doctoral Education, my role is really to oversee the program. The vast majority of really intensive training that students are going to get are going to be via one-on-one mentoring relationships, doing research in person's labs and on person's teams. And so you really want to make sure that your mentor has that area of expertise that you want to develop. They're becoming scientists and they're developing these passions and these interests. It's my hope, and it's the hope of the program of the school, that these folks will be the leaders of this field and they'll go on to become independent investigators and do work that impacts the world. Their success is our success. That to me it's just exciting. It's exciting to know that I could say that I helped a little with that.